Chimaev is training so hard and putting it on guys. Watching him against Fluffy, do we believe that he can compete against Khamzat Chimaev? I have heard stories, guys, out of the Chimaev camp, that Chimaev is training so hard and putting it on guys, elite level guys, like nothing you've ever seen before. I have heard Khamzat Chimaev wants people to go so hard with him to try to beat him and submit him and do. He's paying him. Khamzat's putting a bounty on himself.
You want to jump in my pool?
I want to die now.
Okay. No problem.
On Strickland versus Khamzat Chimaev, what happened in the training room? Now, Daniel Cormier talked about this, and I'm glad that he said it because it's what everybody's wondering. There was people that were there when they trained. Khamzat has one opinion. He whipped Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland has a totally different opinion. He said, wait a minute, first off, we didn't go that often, and when we did go, ain't no problems with you. Where are the bystanders? I'm so curious. Now, there's a rule in the practice room that what happens in the room stays in the room. And you would be stunned at how fiercely loyal to that code. That happened or that didn't happen, those guys have already stepped outside it. So where's the third man? Where's the fourth man? Where's the fifth man? I've been to Extreme Couture plenty of times. It's a packed gym. People would have seen Sean Strickland and Chimaev, and nobody is weighing in. It's a very fascinating concept, and Chimaev now allegedly, and everything with Chimaev is like this big secret, and it didn't used to be. And Chimaev is one of the great Gregor, Ronda Rousey, Chimaev, where the media was just drawn to him and used to get so much information. We got everything. We got personal information. We got who he's dating, who he's marrying, who he's hanging out with. We got when he was on a potential deathbed during COVID, like Chimaev let us in. We got to go with him in a car when him and Darren Till went grocery shopping. And by the way, it was interesting. I mean, like, this dude was Yuki. All of a sudden, mum's the word. He's not traveling. He's changing weight classes. He's not traveling because he can't travel. He can't get to the U.S. The stories of him can't get into the U.S. is while he was holding training camp in the U.S. As a matter of fact, it was the very time that he was in Las Vegas training with Sean Strickland, but everything just got quiet. Now, what's Chimaev gonna do? Gonna fight Imanov. He's getting called out by Strickland. Duplessis wants a rematch. Chimaev's gonna leave the division. He's going up 205 pounds. Like, it's just been really hard to get any level of clarity. So now Chimaev is back to training. Khalil Roundtree goes out and trains with him. It was pretty.
The mask just came off. Sean Strickland and Khamzat Chimaev had a legendary gym war that nobody's talking about honestly. And what really went down behind those closed doors is about to change how you see both of these killers forever.
Videos that were coming out, and a lot of the rumors were true about Chimaev's size. You could tell he was a big guy. I don't know that I would dispute the rumor, but it is still a rumor that he wanted to go up to 205 pounds. And not go up to 205 pounds because of Pierre or to become champ, because he didn't want to go back to 85. Like, he looked big and he looked good. So now you got Strickland, who's been given the opportunity, earned the opportunity. And that's a very confusing division as well. We haven't heard from Imanov what that negotiation looked like.
We're talking about two absolute wolves who supposedly threw down in training. And here's the kicker. Both guys are telling completely different stories about what happened. Chimaev came out claiming total dominance, saying he basically handled Strickland like it was nothing. But then Sean, being the brutally honest savage he is, flat out denied it and completely shattered that narrative. And here's where it gets wild. By both of them speaking publicly about this, they broke the most sacred rule in MMA. What happens in the gym stays in the gym. That code has been destroyed, and the fallout is massive. This isn't just some casual locker room gossip you hear whispered around. This is psychological warfare at its finest, the kind of mental chess game that affects how every single fighter in their divisions views them, and how every fan watching at home perceives their abilities and toughness moving forward.
The Scorn lover is the first one to come out and start telling us what happened and how they were wrong. Imanov did not do that. Dricus weighed in on the situation. And Dricus had the same experience with Sean Strickland that I had with Sean Strickland. And Drickus was talking about, man, the first time you go with this guy, you think he's a wrestler. When you don't know anything about him, and you haven't met yet, you just feel him. At the end of the workout,
But wait, here's where this story gets absolutely bizarre and genuinely head-scratching. If two top-tier UFC contenders like Strickland and Chimeev truly threw down in a packed gym like Extreme Couture, which is a well-known facility with tons of people training there at any given time, then how on earth are there no credible witnesses coming forward? Think about this for a second. The code of silence in MMA gyms is legendary. It's been part of the culture since day one. But here's the thing, both Chimeev and Strickland already broke that code themselves by speaking out publicly. So if they've already violated that sacred rule, where are the other eyes and ears that were in that gym? Where are the training partners, the coaches, the guys holding pads, the people warming up nearby? This silence itself screams volumes and tells us something significant is going on here. It makes you wonder if the truth is way more nuanced than either guy is letting on.
he's even harder to keep there. And it's a very interesting concept. I mean, Drickus went as far as to say that he thinks that Sean's got a very good chance in the fight, and he said in a stand-up realm that Sean is much better than Chimaev. Now, I would challenge Drickus on that, but I would challenge him very respectfully, like as the former champion who's been in the ring the better part of 75 minutes with these guys. He has the right to his opinion, but it did surprise me. Like, what do you mean meaning Strickland? What do you mean he's meaningfully better in the striking than Chimaev?
And get this, remember when Chimeev used to be completely transparent with fans. The guy was literally filming himself grocery shopping with Darren Till, just walking through aisles picking out food, giving us detailed fight camp footage, being this open book that fans absolutely loved. This transparency is what built his mystique in the first place, making him feel both relatable as a person and utterly dominant as a fighter. He connected with audiences on a completely different level than most fighters do. But now, complete silence. This shift in his public image is dramatic and deliberate, and it makes the secrecy surrounding his training with Strickland even more pronounced. Here's what I'm wondering, why the sudden change from a guy who used to share everything? Was the experience with Sean so impactful, either positively or negatively, that it contributed to Chimeev retreating into this new guarded approach to his public image?
I went back and watched that fight, but I was at that fight. I don't remember that. I mean, it was pretty quick, and it came across the corner, and it was the same takedown every time, and it was a double leg, and I'm not trying to be a jerk about it. I'm just asking, does he have the knowledge? Is that accurate? I mean, that's the day-old story all the way back to 1993. Well, if this guy can keep it standing, and if this guy can get it to the ground, it's the day-old lazy approach to an analysis to MMA. The problem is, somewhere around 2007, that no longer became true. Guys were just complete fighters, and I'm only asking the question. I mean, these guys have fought. There's something known as a...
Now listen to this part because it gets even weirder. Stories were circulating claiming Chimeev couldn't get into the United States, that there were visa issues or travel restrictions, or whatever the official excuse was. Yet somehow, at that exact same time period, he was actively training with Sean Strickland in Las Vegas, which last time I checked is very much in the United States. This contradiction in the timeline fuels massive speculation among fans and media alike, making it incredibly difficult to get a clear picture of Chimeev's intentions or his physical state. The lack of clarity around his movements only intensifies the mystery of his training with Strickland, leaving all of us to wonder what else is being deliberately hidden about his activities. It's like pieces of a puzzle that don't fit together no matter how you arrange them, and the more you dig, the stranger it gets.
In all of sports, but you really feel it in combat. And the mask is the aura. Mike Tyson wore the mask. Anderson Silva wore the mask. Where guys would buckle in the back. There was just this aura around this guy. He was invincible. If he touches me, he's gonna knock me out. This guy's so good, he could put me on his finger and spin me around, but it's a real thing. It's a real thing until you get in there and you feel them. And a lot of times when it's done, you go, boy, I wish I could do that again. I could have done better. Whether I would have won or not, I could have competed better. That guy was not this...
Here's where it gets absolutely wild, though. The sheer size of Chimeev and his rumored move up to light heavyweight speaks volumes about the physical specimen Strickland was dealing with in training. We're not talking about some champion situation where he'd hold 2 belts. This was about avoiding brutal weight cuts back down to middleweight. If Chimeev looked massive even before fully committing to light heavyweight, imagine the force and power he brought to those sparring sessions. That size differential is real and significant, because Sean is a middleweight facing what's essentially a light heavyweight in training. This makes Strickland's defiance of Chimiv's claims even more impressive when you factor in the physical disadvantage he was potentially facing. But here's the thing, Dricus du Plessis, who's actually fought both guys under real conditions, has some fascinating insights that change everything.
When you train with a guy, once you train with him and once you work out with him, once you see him dragging in the gym like everybody else and trying to wrap his hand and just like trying to get the motivation to get through a workout. Once you feel him and you sweat with him and you watch other guys go, the mask is off. And Chimaev is very much one of these guys that has a mask. There was an aura around Chimaev. Now what's going to happen is between these guys, and I fully do believe that Chimaev feels that he got the best of Sean and that Sean's going, hey, wait a minute, there's a little bit more to the story, which is very real in the practice.
Hold up, because Dricus made a bold statement that immediately raises eyebrows. He claimed Strickland is meaningfully better in the striking department than Chimiv. That's a massive assertion from someone who's shared the octagon with both men. While du Plessis has earned the right to his opinion as a former opponent, Chimiv's striking has shown flashes of devastating power and technical improvement. This directly impacts how we perceive that training session. If Strickland truly outstruck Chimiv in the gym, consistently landing better shots and winning exchanges, it would fundamentally shift the power dynamic of their entire rivalry. But here's the challenge to that assessment. When did we actually see Chimiv's striking truly tested against Dricus? Their fight was predominantly wrestling, most action taking place in grappling exchanges. This highlights a common pitfall in MMA analysis, where people draw conclusions about one aspect of a fighter's game from a fight dominated by something completely different.
One guy sat out the round before and the other guy had his hardest round the round before, and now it's right. There's all sorts of things and there's all sorts of math that's going on in a fighter's mind. Like a fighter could openly lose rounds to another guy and go, no, but I got the best of you, and then have his reasons why. And a training round is very deceptive. You're grappling at 100%, but you're striking at 80%. And that's a broad stroke term, but that's pretty consistent throughout gyms everywhere. And I'm just wondering, who was the third man? I've broken the deal about what stays in the room. That was Sean's gym. That was Sean's room. Chimaev was a guest. These are the facts. Who saw those sparring sessions? I want to hear what they remember. Who was the common opponent? It wasn't like Sean and Chimaev just went with each other. Each round they went with somebody else. Who was there? I'm curious. I want to know what really happened.
But here's where everything clicks into place, and this is the most important concept in combat sports. It's called the mask. Fighters like Mike Tyson in his prime and Anderson Silva during his legendary reign mastered this mental game, intimidating opponents before a single punch was thrown. The aura makes opponents doubt themselves before the bell rings. Chimiv's early UFC career was built on this mythical level of dominance, destroying opponents and making it look easy. Fighters would mentally buckle under the pressure of facing the hype sometimes before the fight even started. But here's the thing, the mask comes off when you train with someone day after day, grinding through hard rounds. In those grueling, vulnerable moments when you're exhausted and your body is breaking down, seeing an opponent tired and human, the aura completely disappears and you realize they're just another fighter. And that's exactly what happened here. Chimiv, master of the mask and that intimidating presence, likely had his mystique tested by Strickland in ways he hadn't experienced before. This explains the conflicting narratives perfectly. Chimiv might genuinely believe he dominated based on his reputation, and perhaps some early exchanges where he got the better of things. Meanwhile, Strickland, having seen the human being behind the mystique, feels he performed way better than anyone expected and held his own or even got the better of it. It's a fascinating clash of perception versus reality. The training room environment stripped away illusions for both men, forcing them to see each other as they truly are. But training rounds are deceptive. A fighter might concede certain aspects while still feeling they got the best overall due to specific moments or advantages in certain areas. The burning question everyone wants answered remains: who else was in that gym and why are they staying silent? This was Strickland's territory with Chimiv as a visiting guest fighter.